Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, and then they were told that they would surely die. I'm convinced that God told them that because they would surely die in their current form at the bare minimum. And they would surely die if left untreated. But God was a genius. God was the maker of the tree. And I'm sure God had ways of eating that fruit or using that fruit in other ways that he made. It just was not made for Adam and Eve. Similar to chaos theory, two different orders that aren't supposed to go inside of each other. Like, let's say if we add, jet fuel to our unleaded car, it will explode so violently that it will cause chaos to the system. It will melt the cylinders, melt the solenoids, melt the injectors, the fuel injectors, melt the spark plugs, and cease to, carry on with operation as normal. So that type of food could either have been stronger or weaker in a type of way. I assume it's probably stronger. It's probably used in order to enter the war on light and dark for an exact, vessel formula that God created so he could enter the war on light and dark. Now it says here there is no scientific evidence that the biblical character Adam existed as the literal first man. Well, here's the thing that you need to understand is that the universe has infinite, non-parallel, resonant, tacit plexes, and we're uploading and downloading to and from God and to and from not God. And when you research more, you're going to eventually believe in tacit uploading and downloading, and this is what's going to prohibit you from believing in Christianity. You need to understand that there's infinite universes. Like your universe, the universe is all kind of created separately, right? And a lot of people don't want to understand that you're separate because then they feel like they're mortal or something's going to get them. Well, you kind of deserve that. If you're unholy, you deserve to feel like you're mortal. So I'm just going to put that there and say that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, of course, there's going to be infinite, non-parallel existences that are going to have infinite proof that it exists that way. We're just kind of trying to extrapolate one of them because we have a lot of proof that we're being directed this way with our science. As time goes on, we will break through to multiversal theory because we will be able to extrapolate older light, and we'll be able to follow those strings of older light into alternate realities and alternate positions. We just aren't big enough yet. Our minds aren't big enough. You need to be thinking infinitely larger, like trillions of times larger than we currently are. And that's with our best scientists. Now, textually speaking, the Bible says that Adam lived for 930 years and that Eve also lived roughly that long. Well, that's just the order that God gave them. And not only the order that God gave them, he also gave them immortality in a way. Not just immortality, I'm sure God didn't leave that fruit there so then they could die. It was just the place that it was, right? On the other flip side of it is they kind of knew that the universe was going to change, is what I believe. I believe that they knew that was the tree of light and dark because Satan, it says the spirit whispered in their ears, surely you wouldn't die. God knows that, right? And that alone right there, just the serpent saying that, the serpent was telling the truth. The serpent knew that souls are immortal from infinite non-parallel ways. We're getting life support. When you come into being and you start living, it's infinitely hard to die. Science suggests that infinite microparticles are passing through your body in every direction, basically, you could ever imagine. Colliding and recreating even more directions than you could possibly imagine beyond that, because they collide and then they blow up, basically, in infinite non-parallel versions of light. This light is actually non-parallel versions of life support. And killing somebody would be as simple as exiling them forever until eventually they're so far away that they have less of the infinite non-parallel life supports shining through them. Now, what I'm trying to teach to you here is that a lot of the times contradictory beliefs can both be true at the same time. With this theology, with this understanding, why did God have to take them out of heaven? Is because they were going to be spewing chaos operations. There's going to be matter and energy flying everywhere, destroying Eden. And God saved Eden for all those that were in Eden and put Adam and Eve on earth, where that is supposed to take you. Those are the natural orders. So basically, he probably took the armor with too and took it off somewhere in space. Maybe worked on it, maybe cleansed it. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he dropped them off. Because it's assumed that in order to live in Eden, you have holy armor on that is at a higher vibrational frequency than your armor of earth. And that armor is basically protecting you and allowing you to access the realm both at the same time. And allowing you to be equal. When people take that armor off, they become less equal. And sometimes they become more equal, or more than you, because their armor is made in a specific type of way to reduce them, safely reducing them into the position that they are in a lower realm, a lower order, a lower equilibrium. And that's basically what was going on with the apple, is they went from a heaven-like place, Eden, to earth. And it wasn't because they sinned. That's not what it was. I mean, sure, it was a sin upon the Lord, but it wasn't a sin upon the Lord. It was upon his instructions, which isn't that bad. That's kind of, way less than you would think. There's far worse things in the universe, and obviously beings are born here. It's not an illusion. If you believe beings are being born here are an illusion, I mean, how do you dispel an illusion? Canonization. You need to run infinite tests in order to prove that it's an illusion, or disprove that it's an illusion, and it still would never matter. You'd still always have to be doing it. You'd always have to be proving it. You'd never stop. You'd do this for the rest of eternity, and you'd still never fully prove it. There's no such thing as proving it. There's only proving it over time, forever, a thing you never complete. So when you get to this point of understanding, I truly believe Adam and Eve are still alive, because they're God's chosen beings. They did not do malicious grandeur. They were not sinning to do terrorism. I'm very certain that God transcended them and then maybe even brought them back to earth. Maybe he didn't. Maybe they did. I think that Adam and Eve were probably called to earth. The spirit, or the serpent, the serpent whispering into their ears was, like I said, telling the truth. We can feel the truth. We know what the truth is. We can feel it. We know it. When the serpent said, God did not mean that you were going to die. That's not exactly what he said. Surely he's wrong, I think is what they said. If you look it up, the serpent was telling them that they're immortal. And here's the thing too, is the serpent might have been misleading them, yes. Because if you learn that you're immortal, you can sin endlessly and get exiled endlessly to death. That is a thing. That is a real thing. And it's not a matter of a program. It's not a matter of program. It's a matter of kinetic law. It's a matter of life support law. It's a matter that you need life support. You need it. And life support is a kinetic energy. You need it. It has nothing to do with binary. Binary never had to be invented. It's not this permutable thing. In fact, God could make bets about when you're going to die and be wrong. Genesis 1 said that God saw the light was good, which means God learns too. All right, there's infinite things. There's always learning. omniscient and omnipresent doesn't matter. You can be omnipresent of all of Earth and still learn something new every minute. Thank you guys for watching. Have a beautiful day. God bless you.